Hi friends, a very pleasant good evening and welcome to Scholar. So today we have a very special guest with her, and before that I just wanted to know that all of you are doing well, staying safe, and I really wish that all of you are staying indoors as well. So today we have with us Shweta Jain. She is a special guest, and first of all, I would like to thank her from the entire team of Scholar that she took out time for us today because she's a mother and at the same time she's also undergoing training. So it's not very easy for her to manage things around. A very quick introduction about her before we welcome her here and listen to her wonderful experience that she has had. So Shweta comes from an engineering background. After completing her engineering in the year 2013, she decided to pursue her aspiration to become a civil servant. She started preparing for civil services from the year 2013. We'll dig into that more. And her first attempt was in the year 2014. So starting from 2014, she has given 5 attempts, and in the year 2019, she cleared a civil service examination. Before that, also she did clear, but she gave another attempt, and the last attempt was in 2019. So after giving her civil service exam in the year 2019, she made through into the Indian Railway Personnel Service, and now she's undergoing training for it. The one very beautiful thing about Shweta is that she did not lose hope. She gave 5 examinations, 5 attempts, out of which she managed to get into the interview thrice. And again, she wanted to improve her rank in the year 2016. So she went ahead. She did not drop her preparation. So that's something which is called perseverance. And today we are definitely going to hear a lot from her about how did she maintain her cool and how did she continue her preparations in spite of the downfalls in between. She's born and brought up in Chennai, and I think it's time to welcome her here and hear from her itself. So I think Shweta, first of all, please do come on screen and address our students out there. Thank you so much for being a part of this particular session.
Thank you so much, Ritik, for the you have introduced everything, like you have introduced all about me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Team Scholar, for inviting me here to share my experience.
We are glad, Shweta, that you're here.
Yeah. So I shall begin with my journey.
Yes, Shweta, we're really dying to hear that. Why did you first of all take up civil service? I know that's the first question most of them would have asked you, but we would like to know your take on it.
Ritik, like initially I started in my college days. We had this India Against Corruption. Okay, you must be knowing that. So I was part of it. So one sudden day, the entire movement crashed, and I was losing. I just lost hope. Like, okay, you cannot bring changes by sitting outside. You have to enter the system. This was the very thought came in my mind first, and after that, my parents also persuaded me, like, okay, try once, maybe, and you are studious as well, so you can clear. So I started in 2013. I did my coaching in Shankar Ayas Academy, Chennai. I took history as my optional because it was not dynamic. It was a very much a static subject. So I just thought, like, okay, if I prepare the basics and to add something to it, I will be able to score at least at 240 to 50 marks. So this was my strategy. So I cleared. So I went till the interview, but I could not clear in that first attempt. After that, in 2016, I gave my third attempt. In that, I cleared. I was allotted AFHQ, that is Armed Forces Headquarters Civil Services. But due to some reason, like due to my pregnancy and due to my marriage and pregnancy, I could not join. I joined in very lately, by 2018 only. And in the meantime, I was preparing again. I gave my prelims in 2018 once again. But since my daughter was very young, about 2 months, so I just gave the prelims. I cleared, but I just thought, okay, I just taken a calculated decision that I should stop here. I should take care of her first. My priorities changed after that. Once I became mother, so I just left my mains and I just thought, okay, I'll take care of her for the first 1 or 2 years, and then I'll give one more attempt. So in 2019, I gave, and yeah, hopefully I got cleared and got IRPS.
That sounds really, how did you keep your calm, Shweta?
Yeah, one thing, ma'am, like I was damn adamant. Like I wanted to get into the service. Like civil services is one, not only from the point of serving the people. Like I knew that once if I get into service, I'll have many opportunities to create a impact on people's lives. So this was one thing. And secondly, my experience in 2011, I just thought like, okay, you have to enter your system, enter the system, bring little changes. Like I cannot change the entire system in one day. But even in my area of influence, even in my cabin or even in my department, if I bring little change, that would be that was the motive. So that is all inspired me and kept me motivating throughout. And obviously, my parents and friends, they used to tell me, like, Shweta, if you go into the system, obviously, you will be not a corrupt person. You're a genuine, you're honest. So you are, PPP system needs people like you. They used to encourage me. So yeah, I just
So, Shweta, one thing that I just saw, just heard during this conversation is how did you, your priorities kept changing as your life progressed, right? You
yes,
had your kid there, right? So that was a very tough decision at that moment for you, because it's very easy for me to hear from here, but you being in that position to give up an attempt or even to not go further after clearing, that was not an easy thing to do, right? So how in that phase what was going into your head, because there are many women out there, all of most of them are in this kind of a dilemma wherein they are into their family life as well, not wanting to give up their career as well. What is that one piece of advice that you would want to give them actually?
yeah. Like both internal peace and external peace is required. Like internal peace is that you need to follow both, like career is also important, like for a women. Obviously, like for anyone career is important, but once the child comes, like for a mother it becomes more important. Like you can even leave career for your child. So that kind of attitude it develops. So yeah, after you need to give some time to, like in 2018 I was very sure that I'm just going to quit this. I don't want to give any more attempt. I will take care of my baby. But after 1 or 2 years, I gathered the strength, I gathered the courage, and I thought, no, yeah, my baby would be very happy. Like my baby would feel like because of me, my mama gave up her career, so she'll feel bad, she'll feel guilty. So I just thought, no, she will be more happy if I do both my job as well as uh, like, to take care of her. If I do both the things together, then only I can call myself a woman, because she's a multitasking woman. Like
Wow.
women is obviously multitasking. So that is the reason that kept me that made me to change priorities once again in 2019, and I gave an attempt.
So, Shweta, one thing that is again there in my mind is UPSC as an examination requires a lot of touch with the current happenings, right? So, in between, there was an on and off going on with you. So, the one factor which is a little concerning here is how did you keep track? How did you actually make sure that you are keeping track with the current affairs? Because UPSC as an examination requires a grip on that.
Yes.
So how did you, and please call me Riti because I am the one who should be calling you, ma'am. So please, I'm humbled. So
No, no, no,
please,
sir. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right.
Yeah, Repeat. Like one thing I used to make sure that after coming from work or after all my busy schedule, household chores, I used to take only 1 hour of mine, and I used to read, just glance through the newspaper, and after going through two to three attempts, I knew what are important, what is not important for me. I just used to make a little notes, small notes, like which could help me in answer writing or which could help me in the prelims. That's what I used to do. And for the vision, there was Vision IAS compilation also, and many more compilations are coming up. So I just used to go glance through every month, like what is the current trend. And yeah, whenever we had the chit chat time in my office or somewhere, we used to discuss. I never used to lost any opportunity to discuss with my friends. So we had this discussion, and then gave me many viewpoints. I had only one viewpoint there in the discussion, like 4 to 5 more points used to come. So like मेरा तो main answer बन ही गया था, 6 points तो ऐसे ही बन गए थे.
That's good. Yeah.
And yeah, one more thing, like my family supported me a lot, my in-laws especially. Like they used to take care of my daughter so that I could study comfortably. So that was one plus point for me.
That seems a really blessed state wherein, you have a
Yes, true.
support. So that's one thing. So, Shweta, like one other thing that I wanted to ask you, that when we started, like when you started preparing from 2014, right? So things were different. Now the situation is turning out to be a little different. Everything is going online, right? Because the situation that we have, it's not safe for us to, go outside that much. So we see a lot of people turning to online mode for education, okay, to help. to get help. So what is your take in it? What kind of advice that you would want to give to the students out there so that they can match up to the level of coaching or guidance that you guys used to receive?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, yes, Ritik.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So even now our training sessions were conducted online only. So mostly like it should come from inside. Like, okay, this will be a loss for me if I don't concentrate on the lectures. It will be a loss for me. So that should come from within. That definitely that there needs to be an internal motivation to keep on listening, to sit for 6 hours and listen to the lectures. But yes, in between you can take notes. You can do some stretching and other exercises so that you can keep concentrating on the lectures. Third important point is like I would say like online lectures are sometimes good also. It reduces your commuting time, traveling time. You feel like you feel better. You know, if you're at home, you can use that time for doing some exercise and other things so that you can concentrate again. So these are some advice. I do not know particularly like what I cannot much comment on this. I didn't do online, no, so I do not know.
Yes. But I think the very good point that you came out with is, that commute time is again saved. So you can invest that in a very positive manner or a better way, in fact. Yeah. So, Shita, one other thing is when we start giving prelims, right? For many students, we have seen that the first step itself becomes problematic. They work really hard, attempt after attempt, and they don't get through the prelim stage, right? And we do have two papers right now. We do also have CSAT, which is a qualifying paper.
Yes, yes.
So, can you give some major pointers from your experience, which will help the students to get through this prelim stage at least?
Few thing is like I have always concentrated that reading one book is more than enough than reading multiple books. Like if you read one particular, for example, let's take history. You have Spectrum, you have three NCRTs.
Yeah.
Reading those books at least 3 to 4 times. That means you keep on revising those and just adding important points wherever you find after the current test. So that is one thing. Like you keep on revising those things. Second is like stick to as much as like less books. Uh, like I have taken only 15 books for my prelims throughout. Those 15 books are like geography, 4 books, history, 3 books, and NCRTs, and one Spectrum. Environment, Shankar IS Academy's that book. So I have one stick to few books only. This is one thing. Second, it is like very important to know the syllabus. If you know the syllabus well, and if you have seen your previous year question papers, so you'll try to understand. We can understand like what type of questions they can ask. This is second thing. Third, like map. In maps, we used to have some group. We had a group, and each of us we used to take one particular state, and in that state we used to divide it political, economic, and other things like agriculture. And we used to see like what are the agriculture aspect of that particular state. So we used to make notes of it. This was a group work we used to do that. And a few of the indices like reports, indices, the major defense exercise, they should be marked up. You marked it up. Like okay, at least you can eliminate with the help of like maybe you would have the 10. So but you can eliminate. So that is the thing. And yeah, one particular test series you should follow it like religiously, because it will help you to cover all your syllabus. And it will like you will have the guidance and more guidance of the teacher also. So they will keep on telling you like what are the things you are doing wrong. So and yes, analyzing also, like self analysis one thing. And definitely you should go join some coaching or test series so that they will also analyze it for you. So this is the thing.
These are interesting points that have come out. One is very clearly you have followed limited sources. That's the first point. Secondly, you have revised them a number of times so that you are very sure about the information given there. And the third thing that I've seen is a lot of group study going on, right? That was something which you followed very religiously from the start.
Yeah, initially 1 or 2 attempts, like I did it very much. Like I used to stay in a hostel, so we used to do group study, and that helped me a lot to clear, because one person cannot read an entire source, so it has to be distributed. And if the work is distributed, because of the division of work, you gain collectively. That is the thing. Even in the answer writing, we used to divide. We used to write 4 or 5 people used to write together, and then we used to check. The peer discussion used to take place. That helped me a lot in gaining more and more points for answers in the mains.
Yeah. So I would want to ask you some piece of advice regarding the first timers, because the starting is a very major step. You know, you might falter there and you might not get back from that trap, because if you don't know the right direction, you keep giving attempts one year after the other. So at the first, in the first attempt, what was that one direction that helped you to, be on track and make sure that you're clearing the examination?
uh, Going back to the syllabus every time.
Okay.
After every day, you go to the syllabus, check like what you have completed, what extra you have read. Sometimes in the newspaper there are many extra things which is given like political and other things. If you go back with your go to the syllabus, you'll see like okay, I have wasted so much of time in reading this nonsense today. So this is one thing I would say. And yeah, second important thing is like consistency is very important for the first timers. I would say like work hard extra. Maybe normal people would have been reading for 110 hours. You guys can read for 12 or 13 hours. So because the first attempt is the best attempt, like if you the motivation is at the peak. So I suggest this thing, two things.
Okay, so the 2 points are very well brought out. So coming to the mains section, you have scored very good marks in your mains and you have a strong point there because you've written it thrice as well. So tell me the first point that comes to your head if you want to tell the students, ki, do your preparation this way for your mains examination.
One is important is note making. Take each and every part of the syllabus, like for example, secularism. Have a 1 page or 2 page note about the constitutional provisions, the act, the major judgments. These are the political aspect. Now, as advantages and disadvantages, do SWOT analysis if at all it is permitted. Do SWOT analysis, but you should have 1 page of everything. Like even the introduction and the conclusion should be there, because you don't have time in general studies to think about the introduction and conclusion. Yeah, yes, in the essays, okay, but in the normal 10 marks papers, you 10 minutes, you hardly there is 10 minutes or 7 minutes you have. So in that you have to have your introduction and conclusion as well. So this is what I would suggest for the note making. Second, even have the flow chart and the map. Okay. All the things in 1 page there should be. It should be like for example, secularism, like have the flow chart of what are the issue. For example, advantages. Just the flow chart, like what are the advantages? Not advantages. I'm sorry. Like secularism or anything. Have the advantage, disadvantage, and other things.
So basically, you have taken the syllabus, you have broken that down, whatever is given, and for each thing you have notes ready with you.
Yes,
yes. A single page or 2 page notes maybe.
Yes.
The one interesting thing is, when did you find time to do this? You have your notes ready for all the topics that are there in the syllabus.
Yeah, almost ready. And sometimes I used to see other people's notes also. For example, Kanishk Kataria, 2018 topper. That he had given some notes on the Telegram group. So I just added more points into it.
Okay.
So sometimes when I did not have notes. Yes.
That's nice. And what about practice part? Like one is note making that you have made very evident. What was your frequency? How many answers did you practice writing? Because you need to get a hang of it, right?
Yes. So initially when my first attempt was there, we used to practice nearly 7 questions per day.
Per day?
Per day after the prelims got over. So because prelims results are evident, so we started from the day one. So it used to be about 7 questions per day, and we used to have discussion, and it used to take 1.5 hours, but at least 7 topics have been completed. You will be like happy that 7 topics have been completed, and each and every topic we used to discuss in the other ways also, like in all the dimensions, like social, political, economical, in this way. Second, my major priority was to complete the paper. So we even though we used to write 7 questions, but we used to complete it. So this was like, even if you are writing half an answer, you have to complete it. This was the rule of that group.
Okay.
Practice is very much needed, as you are saying. Like, practice is needed because you have papers back to back. For example, like GS 1, 2, 3, it comes back to back. Like you will have a pain in your hand. So practicing will help you to perfection, to make it more perfect.
That's nice. So notes making, practice, I think you have quantified also. So it shows how much of practice went into, right, after your prelims got over.
Yes.
So, Shweta, on what basis do we select optional papers? Like for first timers, sometimes I do see there's a confusion in the optional selection itself. So for 1 year, they try out one optional subject, and the next year they think, let's tweak this. So what is your take on it?
Like one, it should be the basis of on the basis of interest also.
Hmm.
Like you should have that subject. If you like the subject, you'll not get bored whenever you take that subject. So this is the basic thing, interest. And yeah, people say like if it helps in GS or something and some other thing. So these are the two points I suggest. Like you can with the help of this you can select your optional.
Hmm.
But I do not recommend changing the optional because maybe it has not paid you off in the first or second attempt, but in the third attempt it will surely pay you off, and it is obviously 500 marks. So even if you get 250 or 280, like it can vary, but it will add so much of points to you. But if you take some other optional, you will have to do that. Try and working out. You will have to बहुत अच्छा करना पड़ेगा, मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, उतनी मेहनत लगेगी वापस. So it will not be useful to you.
I think that's what patience means, right? So as you rightly said that you have selected an optional paper, it's not working out for you, stick to it, make improvements that, right, in the same subject.
Yes, yes.
That's really good. And apart from that, anything else that you want to highlight in the mains preparation, Shweta?
Yeah, this is the important thing. Like you should know the previous year questions. Like maybe this recent question, like at least one or two papers. Take that questions and write that questions first. Because in history optional, there are many questions which were repeated. So if you have the optional questions, like if you know the previous year questions and you have already prepared an answer for it, it might help you. So you don't have to waste your 1 or 2 minutes in thinking about the answers. You'll just have to go and write. So even that 1 or 2 minutes will be saved for you. You can think in that. You can use that time in some other questions. So prepare each and every question. At least for the history optional, I believe like for the past 20 years, take all the questions, prepare all the questions. So this is I prepared from self-study history. So this can be very helpful for the optional students.
Okay, so basically, if I put this in a nutshell, the first thing is notes making. The second thing is practice. The third thing is knowing your syllabus in and out. Then referring to the previous year questions again and again so that you don't lose track and you know where you are standing. And again, the group study part was again continued here as well. So if that is something which people can just join in and do, I think it will save a lot of time for them as well. So that's one point that I found personally very useful. And Shweta, the other thing is over the years, right, when you start giving first attempt, second attempt, third, fourth, you do see certain kind of changes, not maybe majorly in the pattern, but yes, the type of questions that are being asked. Like in prelims earlier, it was totally concept laden, right? Then gradually you did see fact-based questions also taking its place in the prelims paper. So how did you fine tune yourself? Because it was like a long journey, right?
Like the answer is very simple. Like if you see the previous year question, then itself you'll understand like कि यहाँ पे हमें ये करना है कि previous year ऐसा पूछ लेना तो पक्का इस साल भी ऐसे ही कुछ पूछेंगे. So जैसे आप previous year questions देखेंगे तो आपको पता ही चल जाएगा कि इन लोगों का next क्या हो सकता है. And UPSC being unpredictable, we cannot expect कि जो previous year आया वो इस साल भी आएगा. So totally unpredictable. But yeah, like basics thorough, basically like conventional subjects like history, geography. If you're thorough with it, like no one can snatch like no one can change your destiny. You'll surely crack the prelims.
Okay, so that's words of wisdom at the end. I think that's really good because concept to pata hona hi chahiye. That cannot be omitted at any cost.
At any cost, yes. Concept, if your concept wise pura clear hai, so like yeah, you can add some from the newspaper like few things which are been asked. But for most of the 50%, okay, अगर UPSC change भी करे तो पूरा तो conceptual से पूरा एकदम fact based नहीं करेगा. 50% तो रहेगा. Then in that 50% you will have that edge. So I think like concept होना चाहिए positive.
So that's, I think, an important takeaway out there, that don't compromise on your concepts how much ever the pattern gets tweaked. Right. So fine. So Shweta, let's move on to the last part, interview preparation. So first thing, once you get your result, you're already in a very joyous mood that you have cleared 2 big hurdles, prelims and mains. So immediately, what is your next step towards your interview preparation?
interview, as we know, like there is a DAF, detailed application form. Read each and every part of it. Try to understand what. Try. You can also do group discussion or mock discussion with your friends initially before going to the panel, before going for the mock interviews. When you do it with your group friends, you get maximum questions. Like what are the questions which can be asked from your DAF, and if you have some experienced friends, so they will also help you out. So you can get the guidance of people as much as possible. This is one thing. Second, try to interact with as many people, many officers or those with the field level, those at the field. Because when you give an answer, जिसमें मतलब जब आपको पता है कि फील्ड पे ये सब हो रहा है, तो उस आंसर में बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्फिडेंस होगा. क्योंकि हाँ आप देख के आए हो कि मतलब एग्रीकल्चर, जैसे मैं एपीएमसी मंडी गई थी, मैंने वहां देखा कि क्या हो रहा है. तो जब मैंने आंसर दिया तो मुझे पता था कि मुझे ये सब मैंने ये देखा है और ये प्रॉब्लम्स है. नो वन कैन डिनाई दैट. सो कॉन्फिडेंस अपने आप ज्यादा हो जाएगा. सेकेंड, डैफ की ईच एंड एवरी पार्ट पे वर्क करना है, जैसे लाइक हॉबीज, लाइक डेट ऑफ बर्थ, और लाइक योर ग्रेजुएशन सब्जेक्ट फॉर द फर्स्ट timers, like first those who are giving first or second interview, they ask especially. And yes, technology wise also, if you have done anything, MTech or something, like they can ask on that. So this is what, and this is all I can think right now.
Yeah. So do they ask you based on current affairs also you are tested, like the recent happenings immediately also you're tested?
Yes, they ask on current affairs also, and that is one, like mainly try to have such a draft that they do not go out in the current affairs, because once they get into the current affairs, they'll just keep on asking current affairs, and it will not be fruitful for you. So basically, it should be like, if you have a very good draft, try to keep them engaged. ऐसा बताते थे when Shankar sir was there, he used to tell us like, give the clue. In your answer itself, give the clue that they pick up that clue and they ask question on that particular thing itself. So keep them engaging. So that is a very smart work. You can do it if possible. Otherwise, so you have to master the current affairs also.
So that's a nice way to meet the interviewer, basically.
Yeah.
Right. So, and other thing is, how many minutes usually do you have an interview session there, based on your experience?
Mine first interview was 35 minutes. And later on, it was 25-30. That's all.
Average 30, half an hour.
30 minutes, yeah. Half an hour.
So, what is your advice to those students who are really scared of, to go to the interview? Because I think the one thing that we need to keep in mind is just be ourselves. Is that true?
Sorry, ma'am.
Should we be ourselves there? Like, should be very, confident about what we are, and if we are doing that, we'll be able to ace the interview. Is that advice correct for the student?
Yeah, that is there. Obviously, like you cannot cheat, or you cannot fake yourself. They are experienced people. They'll catch you within a minute that you are faking. So this is one thing. Second, if you have done full preparation, then it will definitely boost your confidence. And other things is like for first timers or those who are a little bit not confident going to the interview, just give your interview in the language which you are very much comfortable with. For example, sometimes they even allow to switch. For example, my English was not okay, so I just switched to Hindi. So they were comfortable with it. So that's not a problem. Like whatever is comfortable for you, like give it accordingly. So you don't have to like think like, अरे ये क्या सोचेंगे कि हम हिंदी में बोल रहे हैं. So don't worry on that part. Yeah, pleasant dressing, pleasant smile is very important. If you smile throughout, they'll understand like, she's very confident. She's like, okay, इसको कुछ नहीं कर सकते, ये अच्छा करेंगी करके.
That's a nice piece of advice out there. So we'll have all candidates going in, with big smiles out there if they listen to this interaction.
Smile, not laugh.
Yeah, obviously, just smile. Right. So, have you ever said, experience that you tell them कि मुझे नहीं आता, I don't know the answer for this question. So, what happens in that scenario? Just a sneak peek into the interview process.
Actually, वो mind भी नहीं करते कि if you said I don't know, they'll understand. Okay, everyone cannot have so much of knowledge, so they'll be very chill. Because even those IAS officers, sometimes they would have said like, I don't know.
Yeah.
When they were during the interview process. So I do not know is not a problem. How you say that I do not know, it's a problem. So if you are going to tell with a smile and humble or polite nature, then it will not it will not reduce your marks. That is the thing.
So like how you're smiling, na? The same way we need to address that. Right. Okay. So Shweta, overall, I think your strategy was to the point, something which the students can actually, adopt and take it forward in their preparations. That's really great. Overall, Shweta, anything else to all the UPSC aspirants out there? Because you have been there, started and then given 5 attempts. So I think you're the best person to tell how it feels and what they should do.
One more advice I would like to give is when you are taking a notes, have a separate notebook, and in that you write all the facts and flowchart and keep revising. Like on a regular, like छोटी सी एक डायरी हो, उसी में आप सब important point लिखो, मतलब छोटा सा. Like, and when you keep on reading it, no, it will it will be engraved in your mind. Subconsciously, when you will be writing the answer also, no, that automatically that facts will come out. Like, and they'll say, कि अच्छा यहाँ पे ये point लिखेंगे तो और भी extra mark है. To get that extra 1 mark, you can do this. Second, have a plan, have a strategy, and keep fixing goals, like weekly goals or monthly goals. Like, I'll complete this book. Only then you will when you do not complete a goal, you'll have that guilt conscious come inside. मैंने ये नहीं किया. So if you have this goals set up, then it would be easy for. And if at all if you're very low, so take a break of about 10 days or maybe 1 week or something, because after coming from that break, you'll feel refreshed, you'll feel happy, and you will start preparing again with full energy, like as if you are giving the first attempt. So if you're feeling low, because during this preparation, it takes so much of your, it exhausts you. Sometimes it demotivates you, it exhausts you. So you need to have that patience. You can take a break. It's not that कि UPSC aspirant तो है, मतलब break नहीं ले सकते. Break लो, but वापस आने के बाद 100% दो, 200% दो. So that would be this thing. These are my advice. Two advice. Yeah, and most importantly, keep be consistent. Like ऐसा नहीं कि एक दिन 2 घंटे पढ़ लिए, एक दिन 11 घंटे पढ़ लिए. No, minimum hours of study should be there. Like at least 8 hours or 10 hours, whatever you decide, and that should be there. Like 2 days or 3 days. Like ऐसे ही कुछ students मैंने देखे हैं. Like they will not study for 2 or 3 days, and then they will study for 11 hours. So that will not work. You have to keep, and newspapers obviously. Newspaper, whatever newspaper you take, it is a Bible for you. So stick to the newspaper. That's all from my side.
The one thing that I found throughout, after talking to you, is such a lively person, such a positive person. I think that's the positivity in you has actually helped you, be in control in all these years, 5 attempts, and then having a daughter, and then, taking decisions, setting priorities right. So personally, I'm going to be taking a lot after this interview. So I'm going to be implementing few of your points that you have been giving out here in my real life, not related to the examination, of course. So I think the students out there would again be gaining a lot if they look into the pointers that you have given them. And thank you so much, Shweta, for being an inspiration for us, for me, for everybody out there who's watching you today. So thank you so much from the entire Scholar team.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you.